Summer Session number 3. To begin with, we'll just tune into this present moment for a minute, taking some nice calming breaths. We can become aware of any sensations that we're feeling right now in the body, making sure our posture is nice and stable and balanced, but also soft and malleable, like a lump of clay. We can become aware of the feeling of the paper underneath our hands. Maybe give a little stretch just to warm up things before we get going here. And then just tune into what we're going to be doing here, the layout that we're going to be drawing. This fish design has some nice drops along the side to ease into it. So I'm just going to make some nice teardrop shapes here in marker. I'm using blue because I want some of this fish to be blue and yellow. You can use whatever colors you like for your teardrops. My overall palette is going to be one with a lot of yellows and some blue to kind of counterbalance that. And while I've got this blue here, I might just go in and do one of these swirly, wavy designs that I would like to have in blue. And this swirly design has these little dots on the inside, which I'm making pretty easily by just outlining the circle around it, making sure I don't go too far in. There we go. So I might do these other drops in a similar-ish blue. Again, I'm just filling these in nice and loosely. Not worrying too much about whether I'm following it exactly, but using these teardrop shapes as a nice way of warming up my hand. You might follow the sort of design with another blue area in this fish, just swirling around and then making these little sort of petal shapes inside with little triangles. do these little inner triangles nice and quickly. Again, not worrying too much about making them perfect, 'cause these repeating patterns will hide a lot of little mistakes. And I think I want this overall fish to be outlined in black. So I'll start with his little eye there. And I'll just continue on with some of these designs that I'd like to be in black. Like I think right by his eye. And sort of this big outline here. And his fins, I might want to keep mostly black and white. And this little beaky mouth. These basic forms are really just a big center circle for the fish with these looping or triangular fins with some lines through it, and then some very simple circles to sort of suggest some scales near that. On the bottom here, I might not do that inner detail. I think I'll look for the bigger, bolder parts to dot in some of this black. But I'll save anything else for the pen, because that will do these finer details much better. And these little swirls are also sort of petal-like, but also a bit wavy too. And down here, I've got another swirly sort of pattern to match those inner blue ones a bit. And then some simple lines and triangles for the bottom of this. If you're following along and finding it difficult, you can just kind of do whatever simple repeating pattern you think looks good in here. Those lines and triangles could be continued all the way to the edge of the fin, or you could do whatever swirly gigs you feel like. So I do want the bulk of this to be yellow. Now I'm gonna let my marker do a lot of heavy lifting. This also means that my design sort of gets kind of brought forward a little bit by the fact that the yellow is kind of going in there, and I don't have to go in and do every single little piece of detail. That's the really nice thing about having this kind of stencil to color in. So you can pick and choose which parts you want to do. So for 10 minutes, I think I'll let that marker, like I said, do some heavy lifting. I may not do these orangier ones. I'll keep it more light yellow for this fish. Just add in some more color with pencil. Maybe a little darker yellow in a couple spots here by his mouth, just to make sure that's a distinction that I'm making. Now I'm past my 10-minute mark, so I'm just gonna very quickly get in some of these bubbly shapes in blue, because I do think those bubbles should be blue. Don't you? There we go. I'm happy with that. We'll move on to the writing part now. But first, again, just checking back in. Where's the breath at right now? Can it be more relaxed? Could it be a bit deeper? How's the posture changed in this time that we've been working on the drawing? Did it get caved in? Do we need to open those shoulders back up? And what other sensations have crept into the body? Is there any tension somewhere that we can let go? Maybe do another little stretch to get the fingers nice and warmed up for this part. And just lightly trace over that layout, taking a look at what I'm about to write. So the prompt today is to write whatever comes to mind about summer weather. What you hate and love about it, and anything you're grateful for. So, I'm not gonna try too hard to get this font perfectly, because honestly, that would probably take me the entire 10 minutes, and I might not even get to the end. For my next set of journals, I might reserve these kind of funky fonts for just 1 or 2 words. That way you get the mixed font effect, but you also don't have to do as much. And as a bonus, it pulls out some of those words. Like, I might skip over some of these to do them in a different color, like summer. I think that ought to be in a yellow to match my fish. And maybe some other emotive words as well, like hate and love. And as I'm tracing over this, I can let my mind wander over that question. So sometimes I'll jot stuff down before I reach the end here. But right now I've gotten a little focused on the actual filling in parts, so nothing has jumped to the top of my mind just yet. I live in one of those areas that has quite a big difference between summer and winter. We can have minus 40 in January and then almost plus 40 in June, which we have had a bit of a heat wave lately, almost reaching there. So I guess the most obvious thing I could write about this is that, well, it's hot. It's kind of the defining feature of summer weather, right? And there's good and bad things about that. I do like the fact that I can dress in just one layer. But on the flip side, that's all I get. I can't take off any extra layers if I'm too hot. So that layer has to stay on, no matter how hot it is. That's not my favorite. But I do like that it's warm and sunny, as opposed to the chill and darkness that I've come out of. And this makes it possible for my garden to grow, which I love seeing. They seem to be doing okay. My plants, that is, seem to be doing okay outside with the heat wave right now. I think they're just soaking up the sun, getting all that good growth and energy. But on the flip side, a lot of that heat wave usually leads to some rains. And I am always grateful for the rains that break a heat wave. I'm mixing up some fonts here, just for fun. I'll try doing a kind of broken font for the word break. Some little pieces around it. And I feel like heat wave needs to be long, because that's how heat waves feel, no matter how long they actually are. They feel very long to me. A few more pieces here. And I suppose the other nice thing that I get to appreciate is that this weather means that I can go swimming and camping. And I do love those warm summer days when I can go swimming or camping with friends. And just like this weekend, I did have a little campfire with some friends, and we got to stay out basically all night, even though I maybe went in before a few people. But they got to stay out for the rest of the night without having to worry about a sudden temperature drop. Go try and make drop look like it's fallen. There we go. I'm pretty happy with that. And now, before we get to the crafting, as before, let's just check in and see where the breath has gotten. Can we take some nice full breaths and enjoy that sensation? Or check in to see if the body has become slouchy again, if the shoulders have maybe caved in, need to be stretched back a bit. Or if there's any tension anywhere else, like in the face or the hands or the legs. And just becoming aware of anything else in the moment. These feeling sensations of paper underneath. Maybe lining up what you're doing with your posture. And now we'll get to the crafting part. So I've really been enjoying playing around with making these doors actually interactive, because it gives me a bit more space to play. It means that I can sort of cover over my prompt, but not permanently. And it's just kind of fun. I even get a sort of secondary writing area on the back if I want it, or a spot for more stickers if I want to do that. So I'll just see where I want these to go loosely. I like that. Something along those lines, but maybe with a bit more flower showing. There we go. Tuck that in behind there like that. And I had this piece rip off on me, so I think I'm gonna finish what I started with that and just make it a little breakaway piece that'll be part of somewhere else. And you know what? I think I've forgotten to grab tape, so I'm gonna do that quickly. Ooh. Oh no! Why was that slid back in backwards? Okay, get those back. Nice and quick. There we go. Okay, back in business. And I've been enjoying trying to make these sort of look a bit like hinges. But kind of playing a little bit of a line between form and function on that one. Making sure that it's long enough to actually support the weight of the door, especially if I'm going to be turning it a bunch. Okay, for this, I want to just maybe tape it in with some clear tape so I know exactly where I want to go. Before getting too decorative. And that'll reinforce it, so that'll be a nice sturdy part of this door, even though it's only made of paper. Now I think I want some sort of spacey tapes happening to pull on that theme just a little bit more. Careful not to cover up my flowers here. The trick sometimes with this collage part is creating layers that overlap and create those kinds of areas of interest without obscuring things you like or want to keep. So, I think I want a bit more spacey tape. Behind here, just because I can. I have this nice area that I can play around with as I see fit. And I think that little extra piece I have. I'm going to sort of glue in on the side. Just somewhere here. No particular reason. I'll be honest, I'm being a little bit more haphazard today than I normally am. I could have tried to put that where it was supposed to go, let's say, but I might save that little spot for something else. I feel like I kind of want to be more decorative behind here. And I kind of like the idea of it continuing on top a little, for whatever reason. Behind this door, I'm going to stick this sun glittery sort of sticker to add some decoration there. Let's get this out of the way, because I want these flowers kind of near my fish. I don't know why. Again, like I said, I'm being a little haphazard, but I wanted something to kind of poke out a little bit from that area that's broken up. And I think that flower poking out just a bit is exactly what I want there. That way there it's telling you that there's more stuff back here. And I could pull out that spacey theme a bit more too. Add some of these moons to mimic that. Maybe some of the star tape, because it kind of matches the color of that paper a little bit. Even though I'm being haphazard, I am still looking for stuff that goes together. Get one of these up top. Don't think that actually fits as well as I like. So, and you know what? Black was the theme, so let's keep that going. That'll actually frame this a little bit better. And I've gotten past the 10-minute mark here, so I'm just going to speed up the part where I'm sticking in the rest of this. I really like how these two flowers ended up flowing over the fish. I stuck a little moth there to make that sun thing a little bit witchier. And that little burst just belonged there, I think. Finally, a nice glittery flower to finish it off. And there we go. I have a working door and a pretty nice collage, if I do say so myself. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed your journaling, and I hope you join me again. Bye for now.